I had hit rock bottom in my life. I never thought I would ever need a food bank. I thought I had this with a supermom cape on.
I was going through a difficult divorce at the time, through circumstances out of my control.
I was grieving my family. I was broke. I needed help.
My husband was laid off for about a year, and so we could not pay our rent, and we didn't qualify for food stamps.
The time that you're without work, you know, you can't really measure just by days. I mean, it's an eternity, you know. You get to the point where you don't know that you really want to get up in the morning.
I had a nervous breakdown, February 10th, 2009, one day out of the blue. Never expected it to happen to me. So when it did, I actually ended up getting laid off. I would look at the clock at 10 and would look at the clock at 10:01 and would look at the clock at 10:02, and the days were long, very, very long.
It's not people standing on a street corner holding signs. It's people living in friends' basements, living in cars, and it's very hidden.
I had foreclosed on my house. I couldn't pay my bills. I couldn't get food. I had moved into my parents' home with my 2 children. I was ashamed that I couldn't provide for them.
I had become such a recluse because I've been in so much pain. And when I say recluse, for 2 years, I've had no real social life.
For a lot of families, it's one paycheck, and you lose a job, you have an illness, anything. One thing can put them upside down.
We were living in fear of losing our home where our kids were living and had some stability and where their schools were, and not being able to put food on our table and having to choose between, are we going to buy things to eat or are we going to pay public service?
I knew that I needed help. I was at my rope's end, and so I reached out to Secor.
Probably for our guests, one of the hardest things for them to do is to walk through that door. So I feel that personally it's my goal to make them feel loved, greet them with a smile, greet them with a hug, pray with them if they need somebody to pray with them, and just make them feel that it's going to be okay.
I remember pulling up outside of Secor, embarrassed, and I kept looking around to see if I knew somebody that was there, or if somebody was going to see me there. I can tell you the minute I walked through the door, I felt better from the smiles on the other side, and you could tell that they understood.
Volunteers in there never once judge you and ask you what got you to the situation you're in, and it wasn't about that. It was, how can we help?
So when they come in, they are going to be escorted by a volunteer, but they get to do the shopping. They get to pick the food that they want. We want them to have the dignity and feel good about their experience when they walk out the door, that they've got the food that they know that they can feed their family with.
When I went in and found out I could pick out my own food, I was shocked. I was surprised, very much so. I felt like I was in a grocery store without having to pay. And I couldn't believe the amount of food that they would let me take home.
Typically, food banks, you go to them and there's a lot of canned goods and non-perishables, not a lot of meat, and the produce that we got, half of it was rotting. And it was like, I can't feed this to my kids. And so to go someplace like Secor and have not just some choice in what we got to take home, but to have fresh fruit and fresh vegetables. And I remember, I'm gonna get all teary-eyed. I just remember, like, people just welcomed us.
I've been real staunch about not having anything to do with organized religion, and yet this organization, if you will, is doing the things that I do believe Christ would have us do. What I got was far more than just food for my body. I got food for my soul.
In reality, what we do is we provide a holistic service that speaks to not only their physical needs, but to their internal emotional needs and to their spiritual needs. To see a person's dignity restored to where they hold their head up high, not in pride, but just in self-respect, understanding that people love and care for them, I think that changes the world. I think it changes it radically, because it's not the kind of world we live in today.
Life now is absolutely grand. We are both employed with good jobs. Things can get a little tight sometimes, but we're living comfortably and can buy the things that we need and get to cook beautiful meals for our family now.
Today, I'm super thankful that I ever had that journey, because I know I wouldn't be where I'm at today without the struggles. With every breakdown comes a breakthrough, and this has made myself and my daughter who we are today.
I went to school, got my real estate license, and now I'm a licensed real estate broker, and I'm doing pretty good, and now I'm on the side to give back. I realized I wanted to be the one helping. I wanted to be the one stocking the shelves, donating the money, and it feels terrific. It feels so good.
I grew up believing that poverty and hunger were third world issues. And once I got involved with Secor, I realized that it's a Douglas County issue, it's a Colorado issue.
If we cooperate with each other and realize every part of the body needs every other part, all of us need each other in this community, and then we have someone like Secor that did grow out of another church ministry, but now is broader than that one church, I think a ministry like Secor is going to make a huge difference in our community, and that's why we continue to be partners with Secor.
You're not just donating in the form of food, in the form of money. It also is helping our guests to be able to restore their dignity and their hope, and being able to show them that someone loves them and that someone cares about them.
I can walk through the doors and potentially see a neighbor, a friend, a family friend, and that's the biggest thing for me, is that it's here and I can see the impact that we're making.